There you are, there you are. No aircon in here, so pretty hot. Welcome to the first episode of the Pit Box for 2020. What's been going on in the world of Formula One? Well, tell me. It's one of those kind of things. What can I tell you is we have 47 days, 15 hours, 13 minutes and 28 seconds and counting down until Australia. There we go, the first Grand Prix of the season. But before that, we've got 24 days until Barcelona testing. And this year, there's 3 days of testing and another 3 days of testing. 6 days in testing in total. Okay, we'll get to that a little bit later, or maybe later on in the week as well. We've got the 2020 team launches already, starting from the 11th of February with Ferrari, Renault, McLaren, Alpha Tauri, or Tauri, depending on how you want to say it, Alpha Tauri. That is going to be Toro Rosso. Then you're going to have Mercedes, Racing Point, and then you've got Alfa Romeo. So you've got Alpha Tauri, Alfa Romeo. It's going to be very confusing. I think people are going to still be saying Toro Rosso for quite a while. Okay, listen, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Just click on the button to subscribe. If you have subscribed, well done. There we go. There's going to be lots and lots of stuff coming to you live as well. Also, please go onto Facebook and onto YouTube and subscribe and follow raceday.tv. If you want to know the latest when it comes to the world of motorsport, you have to be with raceday.tv. Okay, they are the streaming genii as well. Okay, so that's a couple of things that I want to get through to you. Now, first of all, let's go through some of the gossip that has been happening, because that's what the off-season is all about. Romain Grosjean took his wife and they went to the Maldives, and then he was posting all of these pictures, and then what did he do? He lost his GoPro 8 in the water of Maldives. Must have come off something that he was wearing. Sorry, Romain. There we go. Lewis was spotted driving his McLaren F1. You know, the three-seater Gordon Murray design, magnificent, so few of them around. Number of the car, 044. How? You imagine what he must have paid for that, because his number's 44. You get what I'm saying. There we go. Kimi and his family went dog slaying all over the place. And do yourself a favor, follow Mintu Raikkonen on Instagram. She just posts the coolest stuff. It's really, really cool. Okay, now let's get into some of the serious things that have happened in the world of Formula One. This year, 2020, we're going to see a lot of records broken. Okay, Kimi is going to become the most raced driver in the history of Formula One. He'll overtake Rubens Barrichello. And then, how's this one? Because Rubens Barrichello, remember him? He came out a couple of weeks ago saying, listen to this, listen carefully, sorry, it's very warm, saying that Lewis Hamilton is more talented than both Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher. It's an incredible statement to come out with. Now, the reason I brought this up is because Lewis Hamilton this year will break Michael Schumacher's 91 race victories. He's also got a very, very strong chance of equaling Michael Schumacher's 7 championship titles. And mark my words, as soon as he breaks the record or equals either one of those 2 records, everyone's going to go out. He's the greatest, he's the best, he's everything. Statistically, he will become, at this stage, the most prolific Formula One racing driver. But judging Jim Clark versus Jackie Stewart versus Graham Hill versus Fangio versus Senna versus Schumacher versus Hakkinen versus Vettel versus Hamilton is incredibly subjective. You know, so I think when it comes to all of these records, we must just acknowledge what kind of effort it has taken to get to these kind of milestones. But there's going to be great banter during the course of the year. You're going to have the Lewis fans against the Schumacher fans, against the Senna fans. Oh, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos. Okay, now some serious stuff. Has Ferrari produced a lemon of a car in 2020? Where there's smoke, there's fire. And there have been reports coming from a very famous Italian journalist, Leo Turini, who's come out and says that he's got information that has come from Auto Bild, which is the German newspaper, saying that the engineers at Maranello are not happy with what is happening with the Ferrari car, and they're very, very worried. And have they made the car too much to suit Sebastian Vettel, where he wants the rear end to work a little bit more? And with that compromise, is it a lemon? We don't know. Nobody knows. If it was such a lemon, I don't think Ferrari would have announced the launch of their car first out of the blocks. So we don't know. We also don't know, after the 6 days of testing, what these cars are really like. Last year is a prime example. We had this testing. Ferrari were unbelievable. Mercedes were nowhere. Came to Australia. Boom, boom, boom. All over the story. So we have to just be very sensible about these things. I am hopeful and very confident that 2020 should see a much closer form of racing. We are now 6 years into this new hybrid technology and this new hybrid engine. Everyone should be there or thereabouts, including Honda. Honda made brilliant strides during 2019. Incredible strides, in my opinion, and nobody's ever questioned it, but that's fine. Renault, on the other hand, have come out and said that their engine is more powerful than Honda and Mercedes, and they're only just behind Ferrari. Well, if that is the truth, then Danny Ricciardo must be looking forward to an incredible season. So, just so much talk at the moment. Don't forget, digital journalists, print journalists get paid per word. So when they're off season, they've got to find stuff to write about. Can't believe all of it. We have to give ourselves a little bit of patience to find out what's going on. Okay, now here's also some interesting stuff. Red Bull managed to get Max to sign, and he signed up until 2022 with the Red Bull concern, which in two aspects is very, very good. Number one is that Red Bull are there for a bit of a longer run, and there could have been talk that they'd jumped the gun. The other side of the coin is that Max Verstappen has got faith and confidence in the Red Bull organization. I don't know the kinds of money. People are saying $12 million a year, etc., etc. We don't know those what these guys get paid realistically. However, Max must be happy, because I think Toto Wolff was really looking to try and sign Max Verstappen because of the rumblings that Lewis Hamilton might defect and go over to Ferrari. Then you sit there and you go, whoopsie, hold on a second. Ferrari re-sign or extend Charles Leclerc's contract to 2024. How you go, wow. Where does this leave two guys I'm going to bring up here? Lewis Hamilton, the other one, Mick Schumacher. The first one, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton can go wherever he wants to. Okay. He's now in a better negotiating power with Mercedes because Max has signed, Charles Leclerc has signed, and Mercedes need a top runner. So Mercedes either go for someone like Sebastian Vettel, who's going to have a tough year, well, not a tough year, but a very challenging year this year, or they stick with Lewis Hamilton and pay whatever retainer he wants. So Lewis actually in a very, very strong position at present. So Leclerc signed, Verstappen is signed. What happens with Vettel? You've got to believe they're going to give him at least 6-7 races to see exactly where he is. I'm still a huge fan of Sebastian Vettel. I still think he can actually deliver and win a world championship for Ferrari. So let's see what happens during the course of the season. Will Ferrari and Red Bull and Renault be good enough to take on Mercedes-Benz? I'm hopeful of it. But if you look at just the consistency of the Mercedes team just in 2019, when they have to, they just pull it out. Any single circuit, they perform. They are streets ahead still of the opposition. Don't believe for a second that all of a sudden Ferrari are much closer or Red Bull are much closer. Yes, we're going to see some great fighting and hopefully a lot of different kind of winners. But Mercedes are still the benchmark and they're still way ahead. Mark my words on that. All right, other news that has come through. Will there be a new Concord Agreement? Now, for those who may be not entirely sure what this Concord Agreement, this is an agreement that Bernie Ecclestone set up many, many years ago between the teams and himself as the rights holder. And from there, those were things like TV monies are discussed, how Grand Prix work, who's got a right of say, the veto power of Ferrari, etc., etc. 3 years ago, round about this time, Liberty took over. And Liberty, I think, have done a great job so far in managing Formula One. It's not their fault that there's one team that's dominant. You can't blame Liberty for that. Liberty are coming out, and Sean Bratches is leaving, by the way, but big Chase Carey with a moustache, he says they're very close to signing a Concord agreement. This is very good news in the sense that it also commits Mercedes-Benz to committing to Formula One for the foreseeable future. I was very concerned. Still am a little bit that Mercedes say, oh, we've won 7 titles in a row, blah, 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 we've done this, we've got nothing else to prove. Cheers, we're out of here. Don't want to see. There's all this talk about Lawrence Stroll wanting to team up with Toto Wolff to buy Mercedes. Then he wants to buy Aston Martin. There's just too much. Look at me, I'm dying over here with all of this gossip that's going around. I hope Lawrence Stroll buys Aston Martin because they need it. They need help. And it's such an iconic brand. So, please, Mr. Stroll, go ahead and see what happens over there. I think it'll be great. Okay, so Concord Agreement could well come together. Talking on some of the drivers, and guys to watch out for this year. Let me get back to Mick Schumacher, because I was talking about Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari. Leclerc signed to 2024. Where does this leave a guy like Mick Schumacher? Mick Schumacher has got tremendous pressure on him. Besides the fact that he's Michael's son, everyone's expecting so much of him. He didn't perform that well last year. We have to be honest. You've just got to be honest. This year, he has to do well. He's got to win races in Formula 2 and perhaps even a championship for him to be considered to go into the steps of somebody at Ferrari. My next best is Mick Schumacher. If he does very, very well, will go into the Alfa Romeo team. And perhaps if Kimi doesn't want to go, they'll replace Giovinazzi. And that brings me on to Giovinazzi. I wrote it down over here. Giovinazzi says he grew up last year. Towards the end of the season, had a pretty good run against the likes of Kimi Räikkönen. But after the summer break, the Alfa Romeo was a dog. And Kimi's one of those guys, if the car's not working, he also just sits there and goes, I'm getting frustrated. Give him a decent car like they had at the beginning of the season, and he rode rings around Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi has this year to prove himself. End of story. Robert Kubica, who left Williams, we all thought he was going to DTM. All of a sudden, third reserve driver at Alfa Romeo, and brought all of the Polish money with him as well. It's now the Alfa Romeo all-in team for 2020. So Robert Kubica still thereabout. Then Valtteri Bottas. Bottas must be delighted that Max has signed and Leclerc signed, because now he sits and goes, well, what are Mercedes going to do? If they lose Lewis Hamilton, they need somebody there with stability. Bottas, on the other hand, has come out. We had version 2.0. Now apparently we've got version 4.0 coming out this year with Valtteri Bottas. He says he knows what it takes to beat Lewis Hamilton. He's a great racing driver, Valtteri Bottas. But Lewis Hamilton is greater. I wish Valtteri Bottas well. I think it's going to be a tough season for him. And it's going to make or break where his career goes. There we go. Let me just say, I'm going to look at the inter-team battles in another video later on this week. I'm also going to look at some of the rule changes that we have. They're small. And then also, there is news about a festival that could well be coming to South Africa. I'm going to have news for you later on this week, and definitely on the 3rd of February. Make a date to follow me on F1 Sasha, Instagram, Facebook. What's the other one? Twitter, all of those kind of, just follow me. The 3rd of February is going to be a big announcement. So, just some things that are coming in the future. Other things to watch out. 28th of February, mark it in your diary. We'll be in the middle of, at the end of the final test on the 28th of February. That night, Netflix are launching Drive to Survive 2. Drive to Survive 1 was magic because it opened up Formula One, a side of Formula One that very few of us know. And it was just magic because Bernie had kept it so tight, and he did a brilliant job that way, and everyone was going, whoa, what's everyone doing? Now all of a sudden we've got these cameras. I just cannot wait for the German Grand Prix footage. I think it's going to be amazing. 28th of Feb, watch out for that as well. Here's a very important one, and I'm very indifferent about this, just listen to what I've got to say. Will the Chinese Formula One Grand Prix take place? There's this pandemic, the coronavirus, which has affected China and is spreading all over the world. It's a massive issue. And I don't know whether or not the Formula One world or anybody in that matter, in that fact, will actually go to China. So we're going to have to wait and watch that out. And when I say that I'm indifferent on this, I'm a South African, and we as South Africans and also Africans throughout the whole continent have seen many of our animal species, and specifically the rhino, get massacred and butchered because of the Chinese intervention, because they want their horns for medicine. So I'm very indifferent about what's happening in China. I might say it's calmer. You might think that I'm being very rude. We know what it's like to lose a species of animal. And, you know, whether or not the Grand Prix actually takes place in China this year or not, I actually don't care. I really, I'm totally indifferent with that. Anyway, so on a much better note, we've got 47 days, 14 hours, 58 minutes and 9 seconds until the first Grand Prix taking place in Melbourne. I'll be coming to you with more videos more regularly during the course of 2020, and the next video that I'll be doing, it'll either be tomorrow or Wednesday. Just follow my profiles and you'll find out. I'll talk about some of the rule changes, and then we'll go and look at the inter-team battles, driver by driver, what we can expect from them as we build up to the first launches of cars in the 11th of February, and then of course the first testing, which will take place on the 19th of February. Please subscribe to the channel, and of course go to raceday.tv on YouTube and on Facebook, and follow them and like them as well for the latest when it comes to the world of motorsport. Until next time, take care. Ciao, ciao. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at F1 Sasha.